Many pet owners who make a homemade diet for their dog look to ground beef to be a protein source. It's cheap, it's easily available, and most dogs generally like it. Keep in mind that some dogs do have a sensitivity to some of the more common protein sources like chicken and beef, but as long as your dog is fine with eating beef as the main protein in his meal, this is an excellent recipe. It's one of the healthiest homemade dog food recipes with ground beef. This is a multi-step recipe, and the first step is in a large saucepan on medium heat. You are going to add 9 cups of water. A half a cup of rolled oats. And 4 cups of dry brown rice, and you're gonna let this come to a boil. Once it has come to a strong boil, you can see mine's gotten a little foamy on the top, but it has come to a boil. So now I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients, and I have 2 beaten eggs. I have half a cup of carrots, half a cup of green beans, and 1 cup of peas. Now these can be fresh, they can be frozen, they can be, it doesn't matter if you have them. I had the peas and the green beans frozen from our garden last year, so I used those, and then I used a fresh carrot. So it doesn't matter, it's completely up to you whether you use fresh or frozen. And I also have 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley, and you can also use 2 teaspoons of dried parsley. So I have dried parsley, it's 2 teaspoons. If you happen to have fresh parsley on hand or you want to pick some up, it would be 2 tablespoons of diced fresh parsley. Now you can already see those scrambled eggs on the top are starting to cook up. I'm going to add half a cup of milk. 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 ounces of liver, and you want to chop that up really well. And finally, because this is the healthiest homemade dog food with ground beef, I have 8 ounces of ground beef. And that's going to cook up, and as it cooks up, I'm going to be able to break it into smaller pieces. So you want to cook this for about 20 minutes, stirring it every few minutes to break up that ground beef and make sure that everything thoroughly combines. But here you can see I'm already able to break my ground beef up and it's mixing in with everything else. So we're going to cook for about 20 minutes and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. You'll know that this best homemade dog food recipe with ground beef is finished cooking when all the water has been absorbed. You can see there's a lot of rice. You can see the peas and the carrots. The egg is in there, and you can see that I have broken up the ground beef, so there's pieces of that floating around in there as well. Once this cools, you can feed it to your dog right away. The serving size is about half a cup for every 25 pounds of body weight. You can store leftovers in the refrigerator in an airtight container for about 5 days. And if you want to store longer than that, you can make it in bulk, store in an airtight container in the freezer for up to 3 months. Our beagle Molly loves this healthy homemade dog food with ground beef, as you can tell. If you guys have any questions about this recipe, you can email me, Samantha@topdogtips.com. I'd be happy to help if I can. The serving size for this recipe is about a half a cup for every 25 pounds of body weight. So Molly weighs about 30 pounds. She gets a half a cup in the morning and a half a cup in the evening. If your dog is more active or you know, a younger dog, maybe will need a little bit more. So be sure, like I said, to check with your veterinarian before you switch your dog to this food for his complete diet. And they would advise you on any supplements or vitamins that you might need to add to it as well. I hope your dog enjoys it as much as Molly does.